Maddie, before we get started with the music, who is Maddie without music?
Well, I'm at uni just now. I'm doing English literature, and that was always something that I'm interested in. I love just writing. And I think without music, with it, the writing's the most important part, but without it, that's still really important to me. Yeah, without the music, I'm from Fife originally. I spend a lot of time with my family and friends, and that probably feels very generic, but and yeah, I suppose I've moved to Glasgow, and without the music, I feel like I've really made a life for myself here, and the music thing only really I've been doing it for years, but it only really started with releasing things last year. I didn't even know that was possible. So I think yeah.
So that leads on well to this, the homegrown story.
Oh yeah.
Growing up in Scotland, how did that environment shape you? Fife, Glasgow, two very powerhouses of Scottish culture. How did that shape you and your sound?
I think it really I think growing up in Fife, it's quite a small place. Mm-hmm. Especially I'm from Buckhaven, so it's a really small town. Everybody kind of knows each other, and I think that really has shaped my sound as well, because I think that I'm quite honest when I write, and I have the song Archers of No Man's Land, which is really about home, and it talks a lot about the small culture of it, but also how it's such a tight-knit community in some of the best ways. So I think that's had an influence on me as a person and musically.
So on the note of your background there, what's the story when you found your voice, when you realised music and writing's for me?
I had always from being younger, I would always take any chance to be doing karaoke with friends, playing X Factor in the school playground, but I never really thought it was something that I was could really be a route for me until I used to work in a pub, and then I worked in the kitchen, and somebody had cancelled last minute, and they were oh, tomorrow night, do you want to play a 3-hour set? And I was I've never done that before, and I didn't even really know. I hadn't properly sung in a while, and I was just I don't really know if I can do that. But then I ended up pulling through last minute, and then I was oh, I've got the bug for it, this is what I want to do.
So onto your album, the title itself, When the Lights Go Down, what's the story behind it?
So I had, it's maybe too honest, I had been out the night before and I was bedrotten. I did not leave my room until 6 o'clock, but I had also just written one of the other songs on the EP, and it was me properly writing again, and I think I was just so in the zone. I was I cannot leave my room until this is done. And then When the Lights Go Down, it was kind of a little bit about the night before, and it was in Firewater, Glasgow, and I just really the whole vibe of the place. The story isn't actually what happened on the night, but I really was I was inspired by a lot of 70s rock writing, and how men Mick Jagger and things used to write about women. So that was kind of I want to do that, but modern, and also just how maybe somebody would look at a girl in Firewater last night, you know.
So when making the EP, what kind of space were you in? Besides a bed rot. Yeah, just
besides the hungover bed rot. I think I was really, at that point I was feeling a little bit unsettled in life. Oh, that sounds kind of deep, but I was feeling a bit unsettled. I was a bit not really clicking with the uni work and things at the time, and then I don't know, we were staying in a flat that was kind of dingy. It was a basement flat and things. All those kind of things just kind of made me feel a bit I don't really know what I'm doing right now. So then yeah, when I was sitting down to write, I think it probably came from the most honest places, because I just didn't have the mental barrier where I could put on a front.
So did you feel writing this was closing a chapter or starting a new one?
I think definitely closing a chapter. I think I was doing a lot of reflecting in a lot of the songs, and I was in just a space where I was reflecting on loads of things all the time. So even things I have a song that was really about growing up with COVID and things like that, and then also another song about somebody that I was trying to move on from at the time. So I think definitely closing a chapter was on the list of priorities for the EP.
So was there a moment in the studio or writing that you had a bit of a breakthrough where you felt like you'd been able to let go of something you were holding on to?
Definitely, yeah. With the song Ghosts Are Never Gone, I had been sitting, I was like, I know what kind of song I want to make, but it's not like coming out. And then that was the first night that me and my producer Ben Lauder, we wrote the song together. I messaged him. I was like trying to do something on GarageBand because that was the tools that I have. And then it was like 11 at night, and I was like I was this one riff going over in my head, and I was like, I need to do something with this. And I was like how do I like edit the notes or whatever? And he was like, I'm coming over. So we sat up until like 2 a.m, and I literally just like wrote a full song in like space of like an hour, like all the lyrics and stuff. It was maybe the quickest I've ever written a song, and it just felt like, what's the word, like lethargic? Just like...
Yeah,
cathartic, yeah, not lethargic. That's English lit shouldn't have failing me there. But yeah, that really felt like a breakthrough because it felt like I just like got everything out in one big like word vomit.
So if someone was to sit and listen to start to finish, what sort of journey do you hopefully go on?
I think that there's parts of it that are like League of Your Own, like some of the lyrics and things are kind of petty and things, but it's like, I feel like it is kind of an emotional journey. I think the one thing about my music is it is very emotional because I am a very emotional person. So I think it's quite an emotional journey, but it also is a bit like peace at the end. I feel like the end of the EP is a bit like letting go.
So, as you've been saying, obviously you write quite honestly. Do you ever feel torn apart between trying to protect yourself and stay creative?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think League of Your Own was especially a hard one with that because it was during a time where I was like feeling like the day we wrote that song, I was just kind of like, I went in like ranting about somebody and then I think it all just kind of came out, but I was like trying to come from a place of I don't want to upset anybody and I don't want to be too honest, but like also it made a good song, so it was that.
So how do you know, say like a song's finished, how do you know that story's ended?
That's a good question. I think I know it's ended when, I think this really sounds silly, but like when I can listen back to it. Like I'm not very good at like listening to my own music. Sometimes when it's in its stages of like this isn't right or whatever, I can't listen to it. If there's a certain part that I don't like, I'm like, it's not finished. But when I can listen to it like myself, I'm like, oh, okay, that's it done. That's that story like finished, and then on to the next.
So when you listen back to the songs you wrote and who's singing them, do you see that being the same person as now?
I think for the first 2 singles, that's a different person now. Even actually, it's that and Archers of No Man's Land. I'm like, those 3 are a different person to me now. But we did finish When the Lights Go Down in Golden Years like quite close to the EP coming out. It was, and I think because like between that time, like I got my tonsils taken out and things, so like I was just in a place of like, oh my gosh, my voice is really different, like what if I'm not good anymore, like things like that. So I definitely feel like the person is different now because I feel like I'm more sure of myself in a way.
So do you feel there were any truths that you were chasing when you sat down to write this? Like anything that you really needed to get out and say, obviously trying to get over people the night before, the bedrock, was there anything that you really needed to voice?
I think just day to day, so kind of honest, but like I am kind of like people pleasery. I'm not very good at saying what I think unless I feel like that's not going to upset anybody. So I think when it comes to just writing in general as well, I feel like it's like definitely a way to like express how I'm feeling. And I feel like it was just things that I needed to like get out so that I could like let go of them.
So there's a real sense, I suppose, because you're talking about the night before, but there's a real sense of night across the album.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you feel that nightlife draws more from your writing, or maybe it's just this album?
Yeah, I feel like I've always been like a real like night owl. Like I get my most work done at night time. Like me and my flatmate were actually just talking about this the other day, and we're both kind of the same. Like we're very good at like staying up late and like I feel like I just prefer the night. I don't know why. I'm also just like, I like, not very good at putting this into words.
Just a night person.
Yeah, just a night person, yeah.
So, are there any cultural inspirations behind the EP? Like, it could be other musicians, art, film?
Yeah, so I think for each song, my new thing was like making Pinterest boards for them, because I was like, I need like a visual like aid. Like when I was writing When the Lights Go Down, I was like making a Pinterest board, and then I was like looking at different photos and like writing things down. But like definitely, like Stevie Nicks is my main like inspiration, just in life as well, not even just music. I'm obsessed. But like a lot of like 70s rock, but also like the kind of visuals of like 90s like alt scene, I think is really cool. And yeah, like especially like films like Almost Famous, and like that's like the feeling I want to capture on like the EP.
So, when making the album, did it teach you anything new about yourself?
I think it taught me that I have more. Trying to put this into like a good way to say. Obviously I've said I'm quite like people pleaser and things like that, but I think it's definitely made me have like more of a voice, and like I'm a lot more comfortable saying like, oh, I'm actually like not sure about this part or whatever. I'm a lot better like speaking up now, I would say. But like, oh.
Yeah. So when you share these songs live, do you take a new meaning to them, especially now that people can kind of sing them back to you?
Yeah, definitely. I think live, like live performance is like my favourite part about doing music, probably apart from like the writing. And I think like definitely with Arches of No Man's Land, like it's about home and things, and then seeing like my mum and dad and my sister being there, and like my sister's like, this is my favourite song, and like singing the words back to me, like it takes on the meaning of like, it means so much more to me than it did before, because like I wouldn't be anywhere without my family and home.
So, do you have a real standout moment or interaction from a fan? Like, is there any, or not just fan, like performing live, do you have any standout moments or interactions that really make it feel like it's worth doing, like to keep doing the live performances?
There is a few that I'm just like trying to think of. Yeah, I think when I was playing the Record Factory in July, I think like people coming up and like me and my dad had been, well, I say me and my dad had made a few CDs, and I think just people coming up to me and being like, oh, like how much are they? And I was like, oh no, they're just free to have. And they were like, what? Like, no. And I was like, yeah, they are. But I think just that, and it was like, oh, people actually like actively want to go and listen to the music. I was like, this makes me want to like just make more.
So obviously there's a lot of creativity, there's a lot of honest and rawness in this. So what do you do to protect your creativity in like a world that's constantly moving, constantly scrolling, constantly rushing?
I think to kind of protect my creativity, like if I'm writing, like I will turn my phone off and things. I don't like being distracted by it. And yeah, I think it's just, I'm very particular in what I want. Like I'm very picky when it comes to music as well. So I think that probably does protect like creativity, because I'm so like, I know exactly what I want this to sound like. So I'm not very good at like doing this, because I'm like, oh, like maybe this would like sound like more like radio like proof or whatever. So
Well, even the answer there, you can tell that you pour a lot into writing and your creativity. So where does that lead you now after it? Putting so much sort of heart and soul on the line.
I think it's good because I've been able to kind of delve into some things that like maybe I hadn't really like properly dealt with maybe on the EP, and I feel like there's still a lot that I could write about and discover about myself. So I feel like now it leaves me in a place of like on to the next one. By the time the next one comes out, I'll be like reflecting on what's going on just now, and the cycle continues.
So the next question is going to be, do you feel like you're in more of a place of peace or searching now?
In my head, I want to say I'm in more of a place of peace, but like I know that's not the case. I'm definitely still like searching. I think I feel a lot more settled and comfortable in myself now, especially when it comes to music. But I'm definitely still searching, and definitely, I think the next one, like even me and my producer Ben were talking about, we want to have more of like a clear like vision for it. So that's definitely a goal for the next thing.
So I guess the next question is, what is next? Is it more focused on a new EP, or are you going to give it a bit of time and do some more live performances first?
I think definitely give it a bit more time. I want to try and get more experience like playing live and just like meeting other people as well. I want to do like more like collaborations with other like writers and things, and I'd love to do more of like songwriting for other people too. So I think definitely a bit time in between the next like project, especially because the next project I want to be like, well, even better than this.
So what's something you want to explore next? Obviously, talk about doing different things, collaborating with new people. So what do you want to explore next? It could be socially, emotionally, or even just personally within.
Yeah. Next, I want to explore a bit more. I feel like with the EP, the first two singles were really sonically different, and I feel like the EP kind of bridges the gap between them. Not that I want the next project to be more samey, but I kind of want it to have a bit more cohesion, I think. And I definitely want to explore like a lot more like live tracks on the songs. Like I played guitar on some of them, but like apart from that, most of them are like splices and things like that. I'm not very good on my producing lingo yet, but I definitely want to explore like having more people involved in the actual like making of things, like songs, more musicians on it as well.
So if someone, it doesn't necessarily do your music, but it more than can be. Mm-hmm. If someone only had time to listen to one more song, what one would you say captures you best?
I would probably say Golden Years. I think it's my most, it's probably the writing I'm most proud of. And I think it has the perfect like blend of like the older music that I love, while still sounding like quite rooted in the present day. And I think like the bridge and things, like the emotion in it, I feel like it kind of sums up everything that I love about music.
So stepping away from music a little bit, obviously it's a big part of life. When the lights go down, who are you?
I hope fun. Yeah, when the lights go down. It kind of varies. Sometimes I'm like tucked up in bed with like a little coffee or whatever, doing my uni work, doing some readings and things. Other times, like I live with 4 girls, so like we're quite like partiers sometimes, and a lot of my other friends as well. Like we do love the nightlife and going out, but the main reason I go out is not, I know it probably seems like it, but it's not to like go out and get drunk, it's to dance. I love dancing. I'm not good at it by any way, shape or form, but it is my favourite pastime, so yeah.
Yeah, there's a great quote from Austin Butler saying, embarrassment is an underexplored emotion, so go out there and do it. And that's definitely one I take into dancing too. I am not good at this at all. So what are you hoping to see next for you? Just personal life, creatively, musically, internally, what's next?
Well, I think I definitely want to take the songwriting to the next level. That's definitely like my number one priority, is like the writing part of it. I feel like I've already probably said that, but I'd love to like travel more and like meet with different musicians. Sorry, I think I might have already said that too, but definitely like collaborating. That's definitely what I want to explore, and probably like personally like hopefully get my degree so that I can do that. But yeah, I think like once I like graduate from uni, I definitely want to take like a year and just like travel and like do gigs in like places I'm probably not able to just now because of my current situation. But
no, it's really nice to see how much, again, you want to live it and work it and love doing it. Mm-hmm. So to finish things off, everyone I interview leaves an anonymous message for the next. And I last wanted to ask, how do you feel about current prices of tickets, and do you feel that it affects the industry?
I feel like it probably does. I think the current ticket prices, I mean, even looking at a few years ago, I can remember being able to go to like headline gigs, like stand-in for like £70, but now you're looking at like over 100. I think that just the amount it's changed in recent years, but like that's also, being in the music industry, it's like expensive, like everything costs so much money to do, especially if you don't have like label backing or things. So yeah, I think it definitely affects the industry. I think it affects artists, but also like fans. It'll maybe put people off like going to see people they love live, because if you want to go see your favourite person in an arena, you're going to be over 100 probably. So
yeah, no, it's definitely getting really expensive to be a creative and see creatives.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get change on that soon.
Yeah.
So what is something you would like to ask or pass on to the next person? It could be a question, it could be advice, it could be a little quote you like, absolutely anything.
I suppose like for the next person, I maybe ask like what, this maybe seems a bit too general, but like what their favourite part is about the creative process, if it's...
Yeah, that's great.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.